a very good team. They really thrive on turning you over. You're going to see a lot of pressure. You're going to see trapping in the backcourt, trapping in the front court. They're going to bring a lot of different looks defensively that you have to handle. They're averaging 25 points off of turnovers, so taking care of the basketball is very, very important. They have a great inside player in Van Dyke that they really, I think try to focus on and run a lot of their offense through, while they have great athletes on the perimeter that are going to attack you and can shoot it. I think they have a fairly balanced team, that can score in different ways.
All right, so Coach, how do you get the team to not look ahead to Texas in the Big 12 play, and of course you get the holidays right after this game?
Yeah, it's always the biggest fear is with the holidays. I think always on this game. I think every coach worries about that, just the excitement of going home and getting a few days off, and all those details of them getting themselves home and how to get to the airport and all that stuff is always a concern of distraction. I don't, in no way is our team overlooking UTA. I think they're very aware of how good they are. They've had some big road wins this year. They battled with K-State, so I think our staff's done a good job from the minute our last game was over that our focus is on UTA.
What do you remember about Coach Gerlich as a player here? Do you remember watching her or anything?
I do. I was, I guess, 13 when they won, or 12 when they won the national championship. And, growing up in West Texas, that was the team and the program that, we all watched and wanted to be like. And, Krista is a great person and had a great career here, obviously part of the national championship team. Her jersey's retired, made a huge impact on Texas Tech and West Texas. And I think girls basketball in West Texas, that team had a huge impact on the entire area.
Does her being so comfortable here in this gym, does that kind of change the dynamic at all? Could that have any effect with them maybe not feeling quite so on the road?
Oh, I don't think that her comfort level in Lubbock makes her team comfortable in Lubbock, but I do think they'll play inspired for her. I think, it's always cool to return to your alma mater, and, I'm sure her team understands that, and they'll play hard. They play hard all the time. It's a team that's very scrappy and is going to get after it, and it'll be no different here.
I'm sure throughout just Lady Raider basketball history, just how many accomplishments they've had in the past. The national championship team gets brought up and whatnot, and I'm sure incoming players, get told stories about that team all the time. I mean, do players on this current team know of Krista, before this matchup?
I hope so. I think so. We talk a lot about it. We try to do a good job of teaching our program every year about the tradition in this program. And obviously her face, her name, her banner is hung. I think, a lot of our kids are from Texas. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. And they've grown up with Krista's daughter. And, Krista's been in the Dallas area. So I think they're very familiar, with her. And again, I think, as much as we can bring to our program, the tradition, the further we get away from those years, the more they are not necessarily know players as well. So it has to come from us, it has to come from our staff. They don't just, do that research on their own and know, but it is a big part of Lady Raider basketball.
Coach, just real quick, I know it's kind of a tough question because it was a full year ago, but how maybe do you feel differently about your team, given you still have one before you get into Big 12 play, and obviously the break you talked about, but maybe how do you feel differently now than you were a year ago at this point?
Well, I think with how our kids work every single day, the level of competitiveness, obviously I think they're very talented. Those three things have earned so much trust from our staff. When you show up every day and you do your job and you do it well, Right, our bosses trust us. That's the same with us, So going into games, there's never been a game, this year that I've wondered who's going to show up. Are they going to show up? I trust them. I believe they're going to show up, and there may be games we play better, than others, but I've never doubted with this group that they're going to show up and they're going to fight and they're going to want to win.
All right, Coach. Not looking ahead past this game, but since the holidays are here,
Here's the question.
I have to ask. Yeah, I have to ask some Big 12 questions because I'll be gone too.
Okay.
Big 12 this year looks very tough. A lot of ranked teams. Your RPI is in the 30s. How tough is the Big 12 going to be this year, and is it even ramped up more than it has been in the past?
I think it's tougher because your bottom teams have gotten so much better. So I think, the talent is better from top to bottom, where in the past maybe the bottom three were not as competitive talent-wise, size-wise, athleticism, all those things that show up in games. So I think because of that, it's stronger. So it's exciting. I mean, you look across. I follow our league all year. Non-conference wins and who's doing well and who's been battle tested and who hasn't. Texas doesn't have as many wins, but my goodness, the schedule they've played. So there's a lot that goes into that. Someone can be 10-0 right now, but they haven't played anybody. So we're not, sure, we know who they have coming back and how talented those people are, but it'll be interesting. I think, we hit the road, ground running here very, very quickly with back-to-back games. So we'll learn a lot in the first week of Big 12 play.
All right, speaking of Texas, you said that they have played a hard schedule. What have you kind of seen from them, and what do you kind of expect having to go in there in Austin?
Well, we're also familiar just in the recruiting process of how talented those kids are, and so they have a lot of talent. They're running some different things. They have different pieces. They don't have quite as many just true low post players than they have in the past. So you see a little bit of different schemes on the offensive end, but they're great in transition. They're huge. They're leading the league in rebounding. They're good, but they've played a really tough schedule. I think their strength schedule is maybe top 7, somewhere in there. So they've seen a lot early to prepare themselves for Big 12.
And across the Big 12, I think you're picked 7th between the conference. What do y'all have to do kind of to move up that pecking order, especially when there are so many ranked teams this year?
We have to win. We do. We got to win games. That's how you prove it. That's how you move up. That's how you, finish higher. So, every night in the Big 12 is an opportunity to you're either trying to beat a top 25 team or you're trying to, climb the ladder yourself. And everyone is trying to do that, and there's no secret other than you got to do the things that you have to do to win games, whatever that may be.
One more questions?
One more? Okay.
I got one more for another story. What has Grayson Bright kind of brought to this team so far this year, and what are you kind of seeing out of her as a freshman?
First, I love her personality. I think personality is really important. You can coach someone easier, when they've got an upbeat personality. They're going to come every day and go to work. That's who she is. I think she's learning a lot. I think at times she never knew basketball was so complicated because there's so much more at this level that you have to think about and understand. But she's a smart kid. She's learning quickly. Tremendous athlete, a lot of energy, getting deflections. I think being impactful on the defensive end. She's fast, she can jump, she can do all those things to kind of get out in front and get to the rim and score baskets that way. And I'm just so excited about her future. I think she's going to be a really great player for us. And, it's just a matter of experience and learning and time that she needs to continue to develop.
I thought of. She committed, I think, as a sophomore. That's what she said. What did you see in her back then that, made you want to extend that offer and get her into Texas Tech?
Same thing as far as her athleticism. She can run and jump. loved again her personality, how upbeat she was, how hard she played. We saw in a lot of different settings. She was on campus at camp when she committed, and it was a time obviously we were building, and thought it was early. It's early to offer someone, but for us, I think good timing to get someone to buy in early to the vision of what we wanted our program to be.
2 games left before Big 12 play begins. One game left. One game left before Big 12 play begins. What are y'all looking for at this game? For this game to try to get ready for Texas, and of course, still staying in the mindset that this is a pretty good basketball team in UTA.
Exactly. I think you said it there. Very great basketball team. We can't come to this game thinking it's going to be easy for sure. And I think this is like what better timing for us before break and going into conference play is this tough team. This is what we're going to really see in Big 12 play. So I think it's really going to get us more prepared for those teams more than anything.
All right. Had an easy time of it last time out, but I'm sure when you went to the film, Coach Whitaker found some things that she still wanted you to work on. She usually does. What did y'all see there that y'all continue to work through for this game that you want to improve on?
Definitely just our awareness of different defenses. We know what this team is going to do, and they're going to play up tempo, going to look to trap us. So us just really staying calm in those situations, and that's what we saw last game as well.
Being around you guys, you've had a plethora of speakers that have come and talked to you guys. I know that you had a former Tech men's basketball player talk to you the other day before that game, but you've had some former Lady Raiders come and talk to you as well. What has kind of maybe been the impact of that, of kind of hearing the experience of people that have been within Tech on both sides of the basketball programs and kind of laying the groundwork for what the expectations are and should be?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's been huge knowing their success, these former players, and being here, the things that they've done on teams. They've been a part of very special teams, and I think that's what we want to really just lay out again. We want to really repeat that history again, and just to know that they're really looking for us like that. They're pushing for us. They're coming to talk to us and really reaching out to us, and that means a lot coming from them, and it knows we have people behind us.
All right. Talked about what you want to work on, but what has been really working well? The team seems to be in a pretty decent groove now. What's been really working well?
I think right now for us, I think these past few games, us playing together, if you really look at the scores and the stats and the box scores, I feel like it's pretty spread out. I mean, pretty even, 10, 12, 19, 16, like points really spread out across the board, and that just shows how much we've shared the ball, and especially when you look at assists too, us really playing together and just knowing we're looking for each other, and I think that's been the biggest difference for us these past few games.
As a player, how enjoyable is it to have a system like that and B, have teammates that kind of thrive under that?
Oh, it's awesome. I love it, yeah, for sure, and it's just fun, and especially in this atmosphere with these fans, it just makes it really enjoyable, and you can enjoy the wins a lot more.